children are growing up online, it is good that we don't shy away from these conversations and we start having these conversations early for parents, for caregivers, educators, a big brother, big sister, aunties, uncles. I mean, everybody. It's literally going to be a joint effort. My name is Elizabeth Ikedoro, and I am a cybersecurity professional. I'm also a fellow of the Trust and Safety Africa Academy, and I'm conducting this training in conjunction with the Trust and Safety Africa Academy. So if at any point you don't see my screen or you don't hear me or you want me to probably backtrack on something I have said before, you can unmute and ask, or you can raise your hand, right? Let's see the show of hand, and I would actually pause to take your question or to backtrack if you want me to. Again, you're welcome to this training, and the title of this training is Building Safer Digital Futures, Understanding Cyberbullying, AI, and Digital Parenting for Child Online Protection. So before we begin, this is an icebreaker, and I would love for us to get started with this icebreaker. And the question says, how digitally aware are you? Try to identify the names behind the images below. So what we're going to do right now is in the comment section or the chat box, you can see that each of these icons are numbered 1 to 8. So for 1, I wanted to put the name in the chat, 2, 3, 4, all of it, right? And let's do this quickly, please. I figured some people are just joining us. If you're just joining, please, here's an icebreaker that we have. Just indicate the icon in the chat box. For number 1, what icon is it? Number 2, what platform? Number 3, the same until the 8th platform. Again, right, I need all of us to know that this is a training, literally, and we don't have to know it, or we don't have to have it all figured out, right? But I want it to be as engaging, because it is actually going to help all of us in this training today. Thank you. I can see some responses, and okay, we have Olaide who has answered all 8 of them. Well done. And we have Olu who is also doing the same. Well done. Okay, so this should bring us to the end of our icebreaker. Thank you so much for participating. And then it tells me that we are aware about these platforms, which is a good thing. Here's an overview of what our training would be. What will be involved. We're going to have a pretest. The pretest is just to understand, for all of us to get a baseline knowledge, okay, of what is to be discussed today. And then we are going to talk about cyberbullying. We're going to talk about AI and child online protection. We're going to talk about digital parenting, and we'll have a post test to also assess what we have actually taken from this training, what we've learned from this training. And finally, for every interested person, you would get access to the ShieldKid community. We are going to kickstart our pre-test now. So please check the comment section. There's a link that will be dropped, and we're going to take 10 minutes to answer the questions. We are all here to learn, so you don't have to feel discouraged if you don't have all the answers, if you don't know it all. That's why we're here, and that's what the goal of this training will be. Please kindly take a few minutes to answer the question, and then we can proceed. Are we having any difficulties? Olaide, have you done the tests? Aneti, are you done? Juliet, are you done? All right, Olu, well done, amazing. What makes a person a child? So according to UNICEF, a child is any person under the age of 18 years, right? So I know that even though we have children about 16, 17, they really don't want to associate themselves as children, right? But then this is UNICEF's definition of who a child is. So this pertains to every single person who is under this age range. And now we're looking at cyberbullying. We want to talk about what it is, the types, the impact, the prevention, and the response. So what is cyberbullying? Cyberbullying is simply the use of technology to intentionally hurt, embarrass, threaten, or exclude someone. As opposed to face-to-face bullying, with cyberbullying, it even goes more because it means that the reach can literally be anywhere, right? We're talking about online. It can be some two persons in different geographical regions, anybody from any part of the world really. And again, the impact is usually long term, and it actually probably stays on for life. As the saying that whatever goes on the internet stays on the internet forever. So what are the common forms of cyberbullying? So abusive messages are actually termed as cyberbullying, even though sometimes people often mistake abuse for banter. I know that a lot of people would claim that, oh, we're just banting, well, no, it's nothing, right? But then it is something if a person is being abused, or being words are being thrown at a person in a manner that they don't like. Now, one thing that also makes it cyberbullying, right, is the intent, right? Why are you doing this? The intent is usually to hurt a person. And then secondly, you're looking at the power. Sometimes a lot of people, want to assume that kind of power over someone else, or feel like they are better than someone else. And so they go on to carry out these forms of attacks. It might not necessarily be children to children, it can even be adult to children. So another form of cyberbullying is fake accounts. The fact that a person goes online to create an account. Now, there are two ways to it, where you can create an account, can be created in the name of another person, and that would be used to malign the reputation of someone else. So when an account is created, which is not in one's name, right? And then for whatever intent that it is created, it is considered a form of cyberbullying. You also have rumors and gossip, when you have a lot of people sharing all forms of misinformation, basically something that is not true, something that is not verified, all right? And then the intent again is to just hurt a person, to say what they had, state that they had done something, or they have said something that they have actually not done or said. Another form is exclusion. Now, the internet is supposed to be all inclusive, right? But then the intent for this one is to have a person isolated, so that that harm can be perpetrated even more, and that way they are removed from that whole equation of inclusivity that the internet actually pushes for. And then another form is humiliating photos or videos. This can be seen in the form of using tools, right, to create videos, or take pictures of people, all right? And when mobile devices are used to take pictures of people in a manner that they don't want to be presented, that is considered a form of cyberbullying. Lastly, we have the wrong use of generative AI tools. We're going to talk more about generative AI tools as we proceed. But now we've seen a lot of cases where people are using AI tools to make videos of people carrying out different actions that they actually did not do. Okay, and then AI is becoming so good that it is hard to tell right now. So these are the forms of cyberbullying. If you see it on any platform, you should be able to then tie it to what it is, name it and call it what it is, and then we'll see how appropriate measures can be carried out. Next thing is the impact of cyberbullying. Now, cyberbullying is not just the physical, right? It goes beyond that. It affects a person mentally, it affects the emotional well-being of the person, and then even the physical aspect of that child. So we have emotional distress. This is one of the impacts that cyberbullying causes. We have anxiety and depression. Another impact is poor academic performance, where the child can hardly concentrate, they don't want to be at school, or they can't really bring themselves to do anything because of that's how they have been made to feel. And then there is the social withdrawal, where you see the child wanting to be in solitude. The child wants to be isolated always, because they are beginning to feel less of themselves, and that is why this is a crime, right? It is an offense because nobody should be made to feel less of themselves. Then another impact is loss of self-esteem, where you have an all bubbly child and suddenly that child is no longer the bubbly child that you know. The child is no longer lively, the child who actually shows up and brightens the whole place, and suddenly you're not getting that energy from that child. This is one of the things that cyberbullying can cause. Finally, you have mood changes. This child is happy and suddenly this child is down, right? They are no longer happy as they were at certain times, and you see that fluctuations happen on and on and on and on and on again. So these are some of the impacts of cyberbullying. Next we're looking at is the prevention and response. Okay, so children should be made and be taught not to retaliate, because if you retaliate, then what makes you any different from the person who is actually bullying, right? So that makes you a bully as well. So the right course of action is not to retaliate. The next thing to do, a screenshot evidence can be taken. Now, screenshot evidence can be taken so long as it does not have anything to do with where you have a child being depicted in the form of child sexual abuse material. So that one evidence should not be taken because that will also be propagating that particular form of harm. But if you have cases of insult, right, or other harsh words said to the child, yes, evidence can be taken, and the next thing is to block and report. So there is the liberty to block and report that person. The evidence that was taken can then be shared with that platform while blocking the person. Next is talk to a trusted adult or professional. Children should also be made, they should know that there are adults who are there for them that they can talk to. I know sometimes they may, because of how they feel less of themselves, they don't want to open up, but it is highly encouraged that children be made know that they can actually approach adults and they can talk to adults about this form of harm that they are experiencing so they can get the right kind of help that they need. Now, it is not just to report to any kind of adult, right? The person that the child should report to is considered a trusted adult. And who is a trusted adult? A trusted adult is someone who listens, right? You listen to this child and you're not listening because you want to shame the child at the end of the day. And then say a typical example, you have a child who is being bullied online. So you're not listening to say, oh, but that's your mate who is doing the same thing to you. Can you not just, grow up? That should not be the response to a child who has been bullied, right? They should know that they can listen, or the adults that they're reporting to can listen without shaming them or judging them. The next thing about being a trusted, or how one can be a trusted adult, is to assist, right? The child comes to you, you're able to take action, assist the child if it has to do with reporting on a particular platform, to help report that case to the platform, right, where that child experienced being bullied. And if it's even, say, an online school learning environment, you would do the same also, where you would report to the relevant authorities managing that platform for the child. And the next thing is to help. A trusted adult is one who helps a child identify other trusted adults that they can reach out to. Say for lack of experience, you don't have certain ideas about handling certain kind of issues, online issues, it is advisable to reach out to other professionals who is that, like, that's their line of work and they know what actions to carry out, what authority to take you to or to report to, so that child is safe online. The next thing is to remain calm. A trusted adult is someone who remains calm when a child reaches out. So irrespective of the extent of the harm that has been done to the child, or irrespective of how much bullied the child has been or has felt, you want to remain calm. Yes, there is that tendency for your emotions to be high or to be very angry, especially as a parent whose child comes to you to let you know how much harm a person has caused them. And that is a legitimate feeling. But while that feeling is legitimate, it is advisable that you remain calm. when that child reaches out. And finally, be kind. When a child reaches out, please ensure that you're kind to not just that child, but even to yourself, because there is a temptation to want to feel like you did not do enough, or you're not doing enough, or you did not even try enough, or try to blame yourself as to why your child is being bullied. You really can't control the actions of other people out there. So be kind to yourself, be kind to your child. Next, we're going to be looking at AI and child online protection. Just before we go into it, this is a survey carried out by the Nigerian Communication Commission. And this study was done on young children and digital technology. So you're looking at the children's exposure to online threats. This survey, what it revealed, the level of threat online is 90% of children in this demography, that is 4 to 16 years old, 90% of them come across sexual images or content, and then you have 63% of them get unwanted sexual approaches in a chat room, in social networking sites, even via emails, and then you have 63% being sent sexual images or content, and 28% of children online get pressure from their friends to do things that they don't want to do. Having this knowledge, that just tells you how broad the threat landscape is for children, and this is even Nigeria. Moving on, let's talk about generative AI. First, we know that AI is artificial intelligence, and it's like a group of computing systems that would carry out actions in a manner that a human being would think and carry out those actions. Now, having known that, what is generative AI? As the name implies, generative was coined from the word to generate something, right? So it is just technology that creates text, images, audios, and videos from user requests, or what you call prompt, where you tell the AI what to do and then it does it for you. And a typical example of a generative AI is ChatGPT, which is one of the most popular one. And then you have Copilot, you have Gemini, you have Grok, and so on and so forth. So what are the opportunities with AI for children? You have personalized learning. There has been that high increase in AI helping with the way children learn these days, where each child, we understand that every child has their needs, and learning has to be tailored to a child's needs. And then one of the things AI has done is to help with child's learning according to their needs and according to their abilities, which is really great. You also have accessibility for differently abled children. So say for children who probably cannot see, children who cannot hear, they have better learning experiences right now with AI. And then you also have creative exploration. There are news everywhere right now of children who are doing amazing things with AI already. Children are really building great products, even like age appropriate products, really, really amazing stuff, even in terms of creativity, in terms of releasing, say, songs that they like, make sounds that are age appropriate, make videos that are age appropriate, just exploring their creativity with AI. And also digital literacy. We are now in a globalized world where the future is technology, basically. So AI is helping enhance digital literacy for children. Next is AI risks for children. So as much as AI has its advantages, it does come with its disadvantages, okay? And then some of the disadvantages, as we can see, is digital forgery, also known as deepfakes. So deepfakes is just simply using an AI to create either an image, an audio that of someone that is really not them. You have them saying things or doing things that they ordinarily would not be doing. Right, that's what the fake is. And AI has also helped with the spread of misinformation. So you see a lot of content right now. People are creating content with AI, and then they are giving very, very wrong directives. Say probably you can ask AI. Sometimes even with ChatGPT, you ask for certain prescriptions or recommendations, and then it tells you the wrong thing. So because you know that that is wrong, you can go back and say, ChatGPT, this is wrong, and it will agree with you that it is wrong, right? So you have it passing a lot of misinformation. So these are one of the risks that AI poses for children, where they get directives to do certain things that they are not supposed to do, and that is not even appropriate information. That is not backed with any sources, because really it does not exist and it's just a lie. Another risk is child sexual abuse material, also called CSAM or short CSAM. A lot of people online, go on to create very terrible illicit content of children. They pick children's images from their social platforms, and then they defy these children, all right, using these tools, which is a huge crime. Another thing is sextortion, where when these images are done, right, of children where they probably get undressed with an AI tool, these perpetrators then chat them up and they try to blackmail them with that particular image by telling them that, for instance, they will share this picture with their friends or share this picture with whoever or with the world, because they want these children to play to their gallery, right? And they threaten these children with this sort of images. Okay, we have another person in the lobby. You're welcome. The next thing is over-reliance on AI tools. As much as AI is good, you don't want to have children rely on AI tools, because it will take away the autonomy of the child, it will take away the agency of the child. AI is supposed to be like a partner, a critical thinking partner that helps children to carry out, like, do really great stuff in terms of, say, research, even assist in their assignments or projects, but it should not be one where they cannot do without, one where they cannot carry out any function of their own without that AI tool. Another thing is manipulation. A lot of people use AI tools these days to manipulate children, where they can take on the faces of people that these children recognize as though they are the ones, to get the children to carry out certain actions that they should not be carrying out. Then you have grooming, where people actually pose to be children themselves, and they try to, get them to carry out actions that they also should not be carrying out, right? And the intent is to actually inflict harm on these children at the end of the day. This is a report from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and it says over the past 2 years, NCMEC's cyber tip line has received more than 7,000 child sexual exploitation reports involving generative AI, and the numbers are expected to grow as the trends continue to be tracked. These are the risks that we would be seeing, right? We're already seeing it, but we would see more of it, okay? And that is why this discussion, we cannot help but have it. We cannot help but train our children. We cannot help but be aware of them ourselves. So we're better equipped to raise children who are responsible online, who behave well online, who are confident online, and who know that they can be safe online because they have the right knowledge to navigate the online space. Okay, so now we're going to be having a practical session here. Right, so this is just, I mentioned generative AI earlier and what it can do. Before now, you can easily tell what pictures AI generated and then what pictures AI did not generate. Okay, but now it's becoming harder and harder because the tool is becoming more advanced and it is doing a lot more. So this test is to just test your ability to spot the difference between a real image and an AI generated image. So this is going to be an interactive session. You can show your hand. We have about 5 of these, or 4 of them rather, and you come on and you look at this picture. You tell us which one you think is AI generated, which one you think is the real image, and we're going to see the results live on the call. So whichever one you choose will submit and everybody sees the results. Again, please know that we're all here to learn. We don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know it yet, but that's why this session is also important. Who are we having as our first volunteer? You can unmute or you can raise your hand and you'll be called upon. We have someone's hand who's up. Please, you can unmute.
Hi, Elizabeth. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Okay, so the original looking photo here should be photo A, while the AI generated photo is photo V.
Okay,
I
so we're
hope
going
I'm
to
correct.
so we're going to select the real image, all right?
Yes, please. Photo A.
Okay, can we have another person come on board?
Okay, yes, this is Daniel.
Okay, Daniel,
So
all
also,
right.
yeah, I also go with photo A for the original image, then photo B for the AI generated image.
Okay,
Reason is because I'm looking at their hands and I'm seeing some AI generated things.
okay. All right, awesome. This is moment of truth for all of us. They both chose photo A as the real image, and let us see. Okay. All right, yay. We have so we have some AI gurus amongst us. Yes, you are right. Photo A is the real image, and then if there's anybody here who's on the call who is wondering why photo A is the real image, with AI tools, right, they are telltales actually, or AI generated images, they are telltales, and you often have signs of, you can have, say, missing parts in a person's body, right, or say missing fingers, and if you, or the detail is not like well defined. So if you look at this image here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, you can also see the hand of this child. Okay, you can see how displaced it is, and also you can look at these other hands of these children. Sometimes even with the eyes, you can see that they are not well positioned, their hands are not, their fingers are actually not complete. These are some of the things that you would see with AI images. Again, we have like images that are, better now also, that you can hardly tell that they are generated, right, or they are generative AI images. Let's go to the next one. Well done, Daniel, and well done to our first person. I don't know if that's Alero, but then well done. Let's have another volunteer, please. You don't have to have any scare about whether you're right or whether you're wrong. The aim of this is to actually learn better how to detect this sort of images, or just equip ourselves with the right knowledge on how we can tell that this image is AI, this image is not AI, and so we don't believe certain information that we see online. All right, please go on and speak. I think someone sent it up.
Okay, I think for me it's a little bit difficult to tell, to be honest, which one
Okay.
is AI generated,
Mm-hmm.
or I would just go with A, but no reason, to be honest. I just think it just looks too perfect. So I'm going with A.
Okay. All right. I think another person's hand is up. Please go on. Cynthia. Okay, Cynthia, go on.
Yes, I'm back again. So I'll
Oh,
go with
that's
A as
Cynthia.
well. I'll go with A as well because I think the mirror image looks more realistic than what we have on photo B, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So the reflection on the water looks more realistic than what we have on photo B. I hope I'm correct.
So are you both saying the real image is photo A? Is that it?
Yeah, for me, that's what I'm saying. Photo A. Daniel,
Okay.
No,
is
I'm
that
saying
what you're saying?
Daniel, is that what you're saying?
the real image for me is B. The real image
The
for me
real
is B.
image is B. Okay, Cynthia says A
Yes.
and Daniel says B. All right. Because Daniel spoke first, we're going to choose B. But then whichever we choose, you both see to know who's right. Okay. So Cynthia chose A and Daniel chose B. And so Daniel is right. The real image, the real image is actually image B. So one thing about AI is that it adds details where they don't exist, okay? And then to enhance the scene of a particular picture or a particular environment. If you look at image B, the leaves are actually well defined. But if you look at image A, they are sort of like grayed. They are not really defined, right? But I know this image is really close, like really close for you to tell that it is AI generated, right? But yeah, these are like I said, the tools are getting better and better by the day, right? And that's why this is actually important. So we know that even for professionals, I know we have professionals on this call now, it's going to also get hard, right? But we'll keep equipping ourselves and then learning better on how to detect these AI generated materials. Moving on to the next one, can we have volunteers come on? Please, you don't have to feel shy about it, and you don't have to really, don't let it bother you that you don't get it, okay? It's okay. It's absolutely okay not to. With continuous exposure, with continuous training, you will get better at identifying them. So let's have two volunteers, please. Also, if you don't want to come on, you can just put your answers in the chat box, okay? And I will just go with that as well. But if you want to speak, you can unmute and speak. I would really appreciate that you speak because it helps us, right? We can just converse around it. Okay, someone's hand is up. Please go on.
So the real image is image A.
Okay.
The real image is image A.
Okay. Well, our last person, Aya, chose A as the real image. Anyone else want to give it a shot? Daniel, you say B. All right, so let's choose from the first speaker. All right, so Daniel is correct yet again. Oh, Daniel is the MVP of this particular round. That is 3 correct answers straight. Yes, the real image is actually image B. If you look at the reflections of the water, the lighting of the actual photo, the reflection matches what you have on the water, right? So sometimes AI generated images have like some inconsistencies, as you can see with this one, right? Another time, so they have a certain kind of shininess, right? I know that's not the only thing you can use because both images are shiny here, but there's also a certain kind of shininess and lack of detail that you can find in AI generated content. So well done, Daniel, for getting that correctly. And this is the final one for this particular round. Can we have 2 people volunteer to tell us which one is the real image and which one is not? You can drop it in the chat, you can raise your hand. Okay, so we have David, and David says the real image is A. Do we have anybody else who wants to counter that? And Daniel also says A. So moment of truth, let's verify. Both David and Daniel are correct. Well done. The answer is actually A. We can now see how good these tools are becoming. Okay, and you can see how it is sort of hard to detect. Now imagine that this is a child that somebody has picked up the photo of a child to make a video of this child in an inappropriate manner, and then for people who are not aware, who don't know that these tools can be used in that light, in that way, already in societies where perhaps the child is not given room to explain themselves, you would already have people believing that this child has already gone wayward, this child is doing what they are not supposed to do. How can you do this as a child without knowing that it is somebody else who is carrying out this sort of evil act? Now we're going to get on to digital parenting. What is digital parenting? Digital parenting is simply guiding children in their use of digital devices and the internet, and it focuses on the safety of the child, the responsibility of the child, and then the healthy habits of the child. So what are the challenges that parents face in terms of digital parenting? You have screen time management. It's not really easy for parents, especially for parents who have to go to work to consistently monitor what their children are doing. But then, while it is a challenge, it's a challenge that actually has to be addressed because you don't want your child spending all day doom scrolling on social platforms, because that also has its own effect on that child. while this is a challenge, it is something that the parents can actively learn, actively begin to incorporate in their homes to help their child manage their screen time. Another challenge of digital parenting is online safety assurance. Now, as a parent, while a parent can assure and make sure that their child is safe offline by, okay, you know that your child is at school at this certain hour, you know your child is at home at this certain hour, you know your child is at certain place at certain time. Online, there is that challenge because it is borderless. Your child can literally be in their room, but they are accessing places, different platforms from different regions, connecting with different people from different regions. So what assures a parent that their child is safe online? This is one of the challenges that parents actually face. They don't have that assurance, right? Then the next thing is keeping up with technology. Every day we hear about the emergence of new technology, especially with AI, where a lot of people, a lot of organizations are deploying and producing or building different kinds of technologies, different social platforms that caters to different needs, does different things, right? How do parents keep up? That's a major challenge. Then you also have boundaries and ground rules. So this one will be heavily placed on the family values. As a family, while you have values that sees to the general well-being of your family offline, that boundaries, those values also have to reflect in how you set boundaries online. And it's a case by case basis, really, depending on the age of the child. The boundaries or the ground rules that you set for a child who is 1 to 4 is different from the one you set for a child who is probably 6, 7, 8 and down to 16, 17 years old. These are the challenges that parents have. Is how do I set these rules? How do I, especially when it is not something that you have had from the onset and you have to start incorporating it in your home. Next challenge is leading by example. For parents, as much as we are concerned about the children online and what they are doing, there's also the concern for us as adults. Even as adults, there are times when you'll be scrolling social media, and I'm sure you have said to yourself, I've had enough social media for one day, because it feels too exhausting. You're tired, you're stressed, you're burnt out without doing anything, just by doom scrolling. So how do you also lead by example? That's a challenge, because if you don't have proper guardrails for yourself, how do you tell your child, I don't want you to be online for a lengthy period of time, while yourself you're online for a lengthy period of time? The child would not listen, because children naturally learn by watching their parents and taking cues from their parents. These are the tips to protect your children online. The first thing you want to do is you want to teach your child about oversharing. When your child has access to platforms, if you're a parent who is okay with your child having accounts online, you want to teach them not to overshare, because there are certain information that is not necessary, it's not relevant. You don't need strangers on the internet to know that about your child. Let them know what they can share, what they cannot share, and then certain information that would not tie back to them or easy for anybody on the internet to locate them. For example, say your child goes to a certain school, everybody online knows the school your child goes to, they know the street where your child's school is located, they know the closing hour, if you're going to pick your child, they know when you pick your child and when you don't pick your child from school. So those informations are not supposed to be online. Parents should let their children know these things. Another thing to teach children to protect them online is to think before they click. You have a lot of things popping up from anywhere. Sometimes if you use most of these third-party applications that you don't subscribe to, you also have different kind of pop-ups come up, and out of curiosity, a pop-up comes and a child wants to explore, and then they go down a rabbit hole that they are not supposed to. Parents are to teach their children, their teachers, educators, anybody, literally a trusted adult, like I established in the first session, the first part of this training. You want to teach children not to just click anything. With respect to links also, they are not to just click any links. If they are not expecting any link from a friend or from school, from any trusted person, they are not supposed to click it, because one click can lead to so many other harms. If not anything, even their identities can be stolen. They can get access to certain platforms that the child has access to, and then they can begin to act and impersonate that child and carry out actions that they ought not to, or the child would not naturally carry out. Another thing is to minimize social comparison. Yes, there's a thing where comparison is not done just offline, but it has been brought online, which is a problem. Children should never be compared by the number of followers that they have, the number of impressions that they have, the number of whatever engagement that they have from posts that they put out. So parents should avoid this, so you don't have your child going down the rabbit hole also of trying to put out content to please the general public and then losing themselves while at it. The next thing is to teach children about their digital footprint. Digital footprint is very, very important. Now, for example, if I actually say it is muddy, it rains, and I walk from maybe a rainy part of maybe my location to my house, somehow the footwear I have on picks up the mud, right? If it's a muddy part and it actually trails, and somebody can literally follow the trail down to where I am, where I stay, right? That's the same thing online also. Children should be taught about digital footprints. They should be taught to, share things responsibly, not share what they ought not to share, so it doesn't lead back to them and then it's not a problem for them. Finally, parents should discuss the responsibility in sharing positive content and not participating in harassment. We spoke about bullying earlier. While it is often easy for, not really easy though, but then it's easier for people to deal with the fact that their child is being bullied than it is their child who is the perpetrator of that act, right? So you want to teach your child to actually be good digital citizens. If they want to put out, say, content for their friends, they should share positive content for their friends. They should not partake in harassment. So you can be a bystander or an upstander, right? A bystander is somebody who just watches other people harass others without trying to provide a solution, while an upstander is someone who actually goes on to provide solutions. Sometimes, even if the solution does not lead to any measurable impact, the fact that the child even tried to stand up for another person says a lot. Okay, and these are the things that parents actually need to teach their children and to also portray. Next is making sure your child understands smart rules. What are the smart rules? You have S is safe, so they don't share personal information. M is meeting. Your child should avoid meeting strangers online. They have no business meeting strangers online. If they must meet anybody online, it shouldn't be without your consent. It shouldn't be without you being aware as a parent. If possible, they should not even go alone. If there is any reason they have to meet anybody from the internet at all. Then you have A, which is accepting. You teach the child not to accept or open files from unknown sources, from people they are not expecting it to. Because why is a stranger sending me a file if I'm not expecting that file? I see it a lot on X platform, which is formerly Twitter. I get it a lot where people are sending me different files, different links, and I've never interacted with them. I don't know them. We don't have any business. So you can imagine children who are naturally explorative and have people send them those kind of links or files, right? So you want to teach your child early on not to accept those kind of files. Literally just block the person and report the account straight up. Next is reliable. Your child should verify every information online. And finally, T is tell. The child should report anything uncomfortable. If someone says or does anything that they feel is uncomfortable, your child should be able to tell you that they are uncomfortable with this and they should not be dismissed while at it. Looking at this slide, this is just all about digital hygiene and digital well-being that parents can incorporate. So there are quite a number of tools that parents can use to ensure that they are looking out for their child's digital well-being. And some of these tools, you would have them, they monitor screen time, where if you set the screen time for your child for that particular day for 2 hours, your child cannot exceed 2 hours. The 2 hours would serve the child, and that is that for that day. Another thing is filters and block content. your child would not see certain content that they ought not to interact with or see online. And then you also see that it tracks location. So wherever your child is, you can tell where your child is at what time or what hour of the day. You can also set usage limits, the limit that they can go on certain platforms, all right? All of it is at the parent discretion, but also it is with respect to the child in question. Earlier I mentioned that the rules set for a child who is 4 years old is different for the rules for a child who is 10 years old, 15 years old, or 17. You can see here kids online activity. You have Tolu, who is 13 years old. Tolu is showing that Tolu is online. Tolu's mom or Tolu's dad can see Tolu's online activity, and so far Tolu has spent an hour 45 minutes today. You have Musa, who is 10 years old. He's currently offline, and then he has spent 40 minutes. So if Musa's dad or mom sets 40 minutes for that day, then 40 minutes is enough. Then you also have Chisom, who is online, and Chisom has spent 25 minutes today. And finally, you can see the screen time. You see 3 hours today, and blocked websites. You can see the number of sites that it actually blocks for your child, because those sites are probably where the child is not supposed to be, visiting. They have no business visiting that site. It's not age appropriate, so it blocks that. And then the total usage, the particular app, you can see that it's how many hours the child spent on that particular social media platform. So you can also see the most visited site. So if you set your child's say app usage or screen time for 3 hours, you can see across apps how it was splitted. If your child visited YouTube, if your child visited Roblox is a popular online gaming platform. You can also see Wikipedia. Then you can see pause internet. If you don't want your child to access the internet at any time, you will be able to pause their activity. You can track their location, and you see all they have done according to the percent, right? And you can see social media usage is 10%, games is 50%, educational content, say they have access to a learning platform, you can see how much time they spent learning, especially because children can be funny, right? And they can be tricky. They can come to you to say, oh, mommy, give me this time. I want to, complete my assignment. And you give them. But then with tools like this, they cannot lie to you, because you get to see it and you get to be in charge and you get to control it for your child. We are going to take our post test now, and the link will be sent in the chat. So let's take our post test and then we'll continue. And at the end of your post test, you will see your score. You have nothing to worry about. It's all we have covered in this session that is in the test. Please, once you're done with your post test, just indicate in the chat box. You can type done. Someone is in the lobby. If you're just joining and you're wondering, we are taking our post test. The link is in the chat. You can click on the link and then you can begin the test. We have less than 5 minutes. Olaide is done. Well done, Olaide. Thank you everyone for taking your time to complete this post test, and I hope that the knowledge gotten actually helped with answering the questions in the test. And I'm sure you saw your scores as well. So, do we have any questions? All right, we have someone's hand up. Please go on.
Okay, yeah, I just want to quickly ask, for purpose of maybe people who join in this, are we going to get like access to the presentation slides, please? Maybe.
Oh, absolutely. I can share the slide with you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, so you'll find the WhatsApp link in the chat. I'll drop it now. You can join the WhatsApp community as we'll share the resource there. Also, we'll have a post survey that all attendees are supposed to fill. So if you fill it and you want access to the resource, while you fill it, please indicate that you want access to the resource as well. Then we can have it sent to your email. Any other question?
Yeah, my hand. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go on.
All right. I want to say a very big well done to you, Elizabeth. Honestly, the session was really impactful, even though I joined late. And then I really love the exercise as well. You know, it's such a simple way to actually feel how convincing AI content has gotten. Yeah. So instead of just hearing about it, you get to feel it. Well done. And he also really drives home the point how surface level visual judgment is no longer enough anymore. Because I'd have bet on that wrong image based on realism, yeah?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
remember my point. I said the mirror image looked exactly like what was above, and that wasn't it. Which shows how important it is to have actual detection method beyond what you can see with your natural eyes, like looking
Yes.
out for metadata, reverse image search, using dedicated tools as well, rather than just relying on your instincts. Yeah. So image B, like we saw, the trees looked a bit too neat for me. Yeah, and I felt like they were too deliberate. Yeah, which is usually the kind of things that makes me suspicious of AI generated content. And that's like the very scary part to me, right? Because things that we naturally trust, like natural lighting, imperfect details, and all those things are what AI has gotten really good at faking nowadays. So
Yeah.
I want to say a very big well done to you. Sessions like this are really what we need. And kudos, honestly. It was worth my time. Well
Oh,
done.
thank you. Thank you so much. That feedback is really well received. I appreciate you spending time this evening in this training. So let's have Daniel. Your hand is up.
Okay, yeah. I also wanted to just like give you the your flowers. Thanks so much for the session. Actually, for me also the highlights was those tools you pointed out. So I was also wishing that a lot of those parents that usually like disturb me with, oh Daniel, how can I like restrict my child's internet, like the sites they are visiting and all of those things. And that's why I'm actually requesting for this material actually, because even me myself, I don't know those tools existed. Yeah. So I think that is really an eye opener for me actually. Yeah. So thank you so much. I think it was well researched and it was a great session. Thank you, Elizabeth.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughtful feedback, Daniel. It means a lot. And yes, that's why sessions like this are super important because you think that this knowledge is out there, but we find more and more that it's really not as out there as we want it to be, and more parents need to be informed about these tools, about how it is done. We should have another training session also where we do like a practical walkthrough how parents can literally set it up, right? Have parents have their children and how parents can set it up, and also they can actively see how to monitor their child's online activity to just ensure that they have a well balanced digital presence, screen time, and everything that requires for them to be safe online, to be confident online, to have good, healthy habits online. So, thank you for your feedback, Daniel. That means a lot to me. Do we have any other questions? Anybody, any suggestion, any addition? While I wait to take that, if you saw the material, you would see that there is a branded logo, which is ShieldKid. ShieldKid is a new initiative that I actually have founded. The goal is to have us train parents, have us train children, have us train educators, have us train basically schools, partner with even both government bodies to ensure that we are driving this knowledge to the most basic level that aligns with the African context, that aligns with the African child, that aligns with the safety and ensures the protection of the African child, of every child, because every child deserves to be safe online. So that's our mission. If you know any organizations, if you want us to work with any organizations, if you want us to partner with any organizations, all you have to do is you can reach out to me or you can reach out to us using this email I will drop in the chat. I've dropped the email in the chat. You can reach us via that email and we can come train, say if you have children, irrespective of their age, so long as they are under 18, we'll train them. If you want us to train parents, we'll train these parents. If it is schools that actually need this knowledge for their kids, right, for the children or the students, we will train them. Okay, someone is asking in the chat if we offer personalized trainings for parents. Yes, we do offer personalized training for parents. And then what is the name of the monitoring app? So the monitoring app is Google Family Link, and you also have Q Studio, QU, let me spell that. I think Q Studio. Yeah, there's also that where parents can download off Play Store or their iOS store, and connect and then use to ensure that their children have a very healthy online presence and screen time. So that brings me to the end of my session, and if there are no more questions, please, I want to make a request of everybody. Turn on your camera, just have us see your beautiful and handsome faces briefly, and then we take a quick screenshot and then we can call it a night. Okay, thank you so much, David. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much, Joy. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Olu. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much, Alaide. Thank you so much, Juliet. This means a lot to me. Are we ready?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, great. So 1, 2, 3, go. ShieldKid. Keeping the child safe online. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. I do appreciate every one of you. And I'll drop the link to the survey right now. Please fill the survey, and if you want us to reach out, again, you can always reach out. You can be a part of the community, and we can help drive this conversation further than we are doing right now. Thank you for spending your evening with me. I appreciate every one of you.
Thank you. Bye.